Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats. Let us know if you can hear me. I'm on the road down in Melbourne, actually. A little bit chilly down in Melbourne. Go figure, in the middle of winter. But, hey, there's Kevin in the house already. Morning, Kevin. Good to see you, mate. Good to have you here. While things are warming up, we'll do the intros as we normally do, folks. Good to see all of you on this morning. The early birds are up and at it. Jason Witten's my name if you didn't already know it. Most of you know that, though. But if you don't, now you do. Good to have you here. Wealth Coffee Chats. We've been catching up each morning, weekday morning, around about 8:10 for quite a while now. Started in COVID, actually. Just touching base to make sure we stay on track when it comes to property investing. You guys know the drill, that this thing takes a little bit of time to go from one point to another, go from an idea of building a property portfolio and turning it into something with some wealth and some income and some value. Take some time, some effort, and to stay on track, because there's lots of distractions, right? There's lots of distractions, lots of influences sometimes that may not be in your best interest to listen to. The media, politicians, friends, family, well-meaning but ill-educated and ill-informed professionals. Well, that's why we catch up each morning around about 8:10 on the Wealth Coffee Chats to see if we can help you and us stay on track when it comes to building your property portfolio. So there you go, folks. Good to have you here this morning, and great to have the early birds up and at it. Luke's in the house as well. Morning, Luke. Good to see you, mate. Rebecca is there as well. Good to have you on the show this morning. Hey, listen, yesterday I missed Wealth Coffee Chats. And I was planning on doing them yesterday morning. And I was catching a plane from Melbourne, or from Brizzy down to Melbourne. Had my timing sorted, see if I could get myself sorted. But yesterday, an unfortunate incident happened on the airplane, which is something that brought up a little conversation that I thought we might have today. It was prudent. An old lady, a lady just got released out of hospital, passed away on the aeroplane yesterday we were travelling on. And that was horrible. It wasn't fun. And her son was there. She was very old. So, at the end of the day, very sad no matter which way you slice those sorts of things. But, she was old and she passed away on the plane, and it was a bit, full on. But got me thinking about some of the things that happen in life that we can't plan, we don't plan for. Well, we can plan for after, but we don't plan when they happen. By and large, you know what I'm saying. And if that was to happen to you or your parents, are you ready? Do you understand how things work after or when somebody significant passes away in your life? It might be a partner, it might be your parents, it might be some siblings, even it might be some friends, and a bit of a, let's say, look, not necessarily a somber conversation today, but just a reminder to get a few of these things tucked away and maybe understand a few different things as we go along. So, does anyone know the two main instruments? Let's call them instruments, documents, legal bits of tender, whatever you might call them. Put it in the chat if you know what the two things are, and versions of two things that if someone was to, pass away, leaves either some control or some influence or some instructions for how to deal with things if an unfortunate thing like that happens. Does anyone know what they're called? There's two things. There's two mechanisms of control and direction. Put in the chat if anyone knows what they are. Usually, most people know at least one of them, but the other one is pretty important to really get your head around when it comes to this stuff. Does anyone know what it is? Put that in the chat for me, folks. Does anyone know what they might be? Now, it's okay if you don't, because most people don't understand what these things might be either. Yep, will, power of attorney. Luke, A class. Go to the top of the class, Luke. And if you've been around a little while, you've probably heard Andy Fenton talk about these things when it comes to who and how will the directions of things happen when it comes to your assets, your things that might be influencing your world. We won't put that one up just yet. I'll get rid of that one. There we go. So there's two pieces of technical documentation you've got to get right, folks. The will and the power of attorney, right? And so, have you got those in place? What happens when it comes to power of attorney, and what happens to the will? What are these instructions, and how does it work? It's pretty. Hey, morning, Sonia. Good to see you. Because it's an interesting one. I've had a few experiences of recent times. Had a very good friend of ours. She had a friend pass away, and her friend asked her to be the executor of the estate. Now, the powers of attorneys and the wills weren't in order properly, so there's a real issue. And now she's been, she's having to deal with that sort of stuff. How and when and the time frame these things take to get right and get sorted takes a little while. So, power of attorney, last will. Now, at the end of the day, the last will is probably the simplest one when it comes to this stuff. And certainly, folks, when it comes to these things, I am not what I would call an expert in this field. And today is just a conversation in and around this for just some awareness. Really, at the end of the day, let me see if I can make this work a bit better. Some awareness, because Andy Fenton has done some pretty good stuff for us in this space before. So we might get Andy to come and have a little conversation with us on this sort of stuff at some point. But if you have a look at this, here, let's talk about the will as the first one. The will gives instructions to, let's say, the legal representatives to deal with how things are sorted. all the assets, all the instructions, all the bits and pieces, that's what happens, right? So that's pretty straightforward. Hey, good morning, Fritz. Good to see you there, mate. So the will's like, hey, there you go. Here's all my things. Go sort it this way, okay? But the confusing one, the hard one, the one that sometimes is the most difficult to sort out and the most confusing is the powers of attorney. All right. And I don't know if many of you know this, but there's multiple versions of powers of attorney when it comes to this world. So again, this is just an awareness piece today, not a, any high level info and advice, but just an understanding of this is quite a lot of details of this stuff. So the will often is pretty straightforward when it comes to this stuff. But let's have a look at the powers of attorney and what might happen. So in every state in Australia, there's different versions of powers of attorney. There's a version called the enduring power of attorney. There's a version of the medical power of attorney, advanced care directive, enduring guardianship. If you have a look at each of these states, then there's very different versions of the world. Now, by and large, this is a bit like morbid, but if you pass away, then often that's a lot more straightforward. Like it's straightforward, pass away, there's the will, happy days, not happy days. But it's done and dusted, deal with it. On this side, if someone's incapacitated or has some medical issues or struggles to, be, or is a long, slow decline, like my dad right now, he's, it's been 3 or 4 years and, he's declined pretty significantly. How do you help in that circumstance, right? So you got to get ahead of this stuff. Anyway, here's some things to understand. If you want to understand how to manage someone's legal and financial matters, in every state, other than in every state, it's the enduring power of attorney. Enduring power of attorney. There you go. That's financial and legal matters. Now, personal matters, depending on where you are, when it comes to, let's say, different things, enduring power of attorney, enduring guardianship, enduring power of attorney over in the ACT. So depending on where you are, folks, and depending on the state you're in, and depending on what you need, medical matters, medical preferences, these things are different. Advanced care directive, health direction form, appointment of medical decision maker, so check in on these things when it comes to this stuff, because we can have a lot of assets, a lot of things to take care of when it comes to our world of investing and bits and pieces. But if something were to happen, someone passes away unexpectedly, or someone has some medical issues, some decline, how do you help them? And you might think you're all set up, but sometimes we're not. Anyway, there you go. It just brought that up for me after yesterday's bit of experience on the plane, and I just thought I'd sort of bring that up this morning for a little bit of a chat. Not necessarily the normal type of conversation we have in Wealth Coffee Chats, but I think it's one that's worth making sure we all think about and make sure we all got a few things organised when it comes to taking care of our things. Have you got your will in place? And is it really clear about how, what, where, when? And your powers of attorney, the types of things that happen if you get sick or incapacitated, and or your partner does, and you've got enough ability to direct what's going on. There you go. Anyway, last night we had the valuer on mentoring. So if you didn't see that, folks, make sure you grab a copy of that when it comes out and check it out. Pretty interesting things. Blowing the whistle on valuations, which is pretty good. So there you go. All right, folks. Well, that's it today. A little bit quick when it comes to the Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all well and awesome. I'll be charging out into the cold Melbourne weather. I'm going to go check out a venue down here in Melbourne. We've got an event coming up in Melbourne, folks. If you're around, make sure you keep an eye out for it. Loved having everyone for Summit. So we're going to sort of switch between Brisbane and Melbourne every now and then. So there you go. All right. Great to have you on this morning's Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. That's it from me. Take care. Remember, this thing's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time to build your property portfolio. Make sure you tick all the boxes, get the things done you need to. And one of them is, well, two of them are the will and your powers of attorney. Anyway, there you go. If you need help with that, if you do need help with that, reach out and put you in contact with Anthony Wolfenden or Andy Fenton, or ask your accountant and financial planner for more details on those sorts of things. Anyway, there you go, folks. All right, folks. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining me this morning. Take care. Join us again tomorrow for Wealth Coffee Chats. The team will be up on Wednesdays. It's Cass from the property management team, dropping some wisdom about how you manage property management. And he'll be in at about 8:10, sorting out the fear from the facts, folks. So, yeah, there you go. All right, that's it from me. Take care. Bye for now.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.